Hot damn, Stunna. Just, that's some rapid lip flapping.
I feel like I almost made a bid on that one.
Yeah. What are you buying, Launders?
New pair of socks.
You should. Color coordination is important.
No, I just need another pair of socks so that I can get even more confused about where the matching socks are.
Oh, this guy. This guy, folks, I tell you. But let's get into this Brazilian bash, all right? And let's take a quick look at the Betway odds before it all starts. It seems as though Furia are favored, and I would understand why. In terms of a team-based showing, they looked fantastic, but so did one gentleman on the other side of the coin, on that T side. It's KNG. Now, we were on the B stream when he tore through his first opponent, so we haven't had the pleasure of watching this man work his magic. It's about time. Immediately up into the brown halls, it is Furia Esports with an aggressive stance. Cello going to be ready for this, and Art should not be able to trade because there's also Yell behind him. So a doubled layered setup for INTZ's first pistol round. It is all looking good, but not as good as once was. Abel has been able to find a headshot, and he takes out a key piece of the T side. That bomb moving into the site eventually, but they're taking their time with this.
They spotted one person at Old Bomb potentially. Someone drops down the ladder. They know that there's a potential second threat, and that guy, Yuri, is able to get a kill. So there's a trade out, and he'll move on to take another duel, but it doesn't seem like he'll be successful, at least not quite yet. Eyes on Abel as he gets the first gush off through the box. Can he finish his prey off, however? Two pushed into hell.
One incredibly tagged. That's Zand, who never even has to fire a shot. He's got bodyguards. Secret Service keeps him up, and that is INTZ with this first pistol. Now, with these domestic matchups, I think that Daps actually in his post-game interview said it best. When he was asked who he would have rather seen in the winner's best of three between these two teams, he says either or, because at least the Brazilians don't seem to have as well of a read on them, whereas had they faced off versus a different North American organization, someone with a bit more experience.
Yeah, so I'm still going to paraphrase, but just to give people more of a clear idea of what he said exactly. It was just that he felt like North American teams could read NRG, and he felt like he'd play worse versus North American teams because it's a domestic matchup. But when they play against Brazilian teams, they feel like they're playing more against European teams. And I guess that just means that they feel like they're better. I mean, honestly, it'd be hard to describe it any other way. I think he's saying that teams that are maybe lower tier in North America feel a lot worse than the maybe lower tier teams in Brazil. And that might be a fair analysis, just looking at how the bracket's gone so far, and just the fact that so many of the teams here at the North American Minor are Brazilian. And Furia looked awesome. And so far, they haven't had the best competition to take down. So not only will we be able to contextualize those wins by seeing how they go up against, by comparing it to how they go up against each other today, but then we'll also see potentially one of them go up against NRG in a final, which could be extremely interesting.
Right, of the 4 Brazilian teams that were here at the North American Minor, Envy eliminates Team 1 with literally just one round the difference. And then obviously we had Imperial dropping to INTZ, so a little cannibalism amongst the Brazilians. Not supposed to eat your own. Also not supposed to lose rounds.
Because it's illegal?
Yeah, I mean, you could argue it's morally wrong as well, but, you know, that's subjective.
It's subjective, yeah. Wow, you think eating people's cool?
I just, you know, what's it like?
That's fine. Didn't want to. All right, now I really regret putting you on the spot.
Yeah. Don't push me, Launders.
Furia have invested pretty much everything they've got. Art saved some money. He's been opping. He IGLs and ops. He definitely does it all. He does it all very well. Yuri is here to spot the push with a deagle. Sees one target, falls off at the site of a Molotov. An inflamed bottle getting hurled in his direction. They've got ladder control, and oh yeah, although Ints are down at the bottom of Ivy, it doesn't seem like their fight is quite over. Through the smoke, a nade comes flying in their direction and takes Destiny out. Will he be able to get more than that? Looks like no. Mac 10 trades him out, and now the split is on.
That first scout unable to soften anybody up, but Art gonna put 2 shots downrange, and both of which connect. There's a third. He's very much priming these Deagle players to get the job done, but it all falls on one, Yuri.
He did pretty much all you could ask him to do at that point. So many players are low, but all of those players also were able to get kills. So after Destiny dies, they pick up the pieces. 4 frags fall into place, and INTZ, although they lose a ton of HP, will be able to take their armor, their guns into the next round. And Yuri doesn't have a really good spot here to be able to find another kill. Instead, he's going to hang back at the top of ladder. They'll reset, and we'll see another kind of eco cleanup, considering Furia saved or invested so much.
And Yuri gets to survive. Almost not. Just like the remainder of INTZ.
Oh my god, I don't think he even picked up the MAC-10, did he?
I didn't see him actually.
No, didn't even bother picking up the MAC-10. It was a free MAC-10.
Listen,
go ahead and grab it if you want.
It's chump change.
It's free. I mean, it's $1,000.
Would you take it?
I made it sound like a lot.
Yeah.
It's not a lot in Counter-Strike, obviously, but it's a free gun. He could have given that to his teammate, or he could have dropped the Deagles to his teammate and then kept it with the armor that he had. Cost him nothing. But maybe he expected someone to come and trade and doesn't grab it. Whatever, Connor, okay?
Whatever, man.
We're past it. He doesn't get the MAC-10.
If we're past it, get over it.
Jeez, just cool it. We're into round 3. And Furia are doing something together. Vinny's posted up with the Zeus in hand. How far does he go with this push? Every corner, every corner. Every corner turned. Every corner that he turns is going to be a nerve-wracking one. This is going to be so much farther from his next threat, but he can slowly inch forward.
Launders, it's only round
Eventually
3.
get to the top of ladder. Yes, we've got a lot.
Don't do this to me.
A lot more fumbles to come, and a lot more dinks as well.
Yeah, some solid USP damage. That Deagle is good for 1 frag. Poor Destiny, the victim of said sidearm. INTZ wastes no time just moving that bomb forward. Clear out all the corners, make sure there's no threats looming near, but there is. It's Vinny with the Zeus, I believe. Yeah, it doesn't show up on the inventory with this HUD.
That's interesting.
Right. Secret weapon.
Yeah, another clean anti-eco. It seemed like it was going to get a bit tricky with Art getting all of that damage in early on, but Destiny is the only player to die once again. And there's more MAC-10 kills to be had as Zand is on a rampage. Can he make it a 3-piece?
Come on. Nope. He's gone. And actually not that far gone. Zand doubles back, baits Vinny into the sprint, and it's INTZ with an opening 3 rounds. So pistol, full conversion, and now let's get into the meat and taters. Give me them guns.
Op bought up for Art, which is something that he was posturing to do from the beginning, not investing anything onto the eco rounds. 4 Augs in play for Furia, and they're just being smart about it, getting ahead of the meta, making sure that there's nobody who's going to be wasting time buying anything else. Strong map for all of these scoped weapons. Caserado, one of the stars on this team for sure, I would say, alongside Art. They don't really have that many weak links, to be fair.
Nope.
Is going to be playing close up against the E-Box as they maintain presence on the outside site in a forward aggressive stance. Yuri's all alone on the inner site, and there's no need to rotate for the time being. No utility coming over the site from INTZ, though they do attempt to clear out ladder. Caserado, will he reaggress after seeing the Molotovs come down? He knows that they could potentially drop, but it doesn't seem like he feels comfortable moving that far up, or being in there in general. It might not be something he wants to do. Again, it's more on INTZ to try to make a move. 3 Molotovs remain for Furia as we just passed the minute mark, and they haven't gotten much map control so far to show for it. Furia were our team that drag rounds out, but they always have something that they're doing. It doesn't seem like INTZ have done that so much.
There's the opening pick to the favor of the CTs, that op advantage. And then Vinny with the AUG locks down Ivy. So it's going to have to be a pretty singular hit from INTZ. If they do opt to go forward, 28 seconds means that they could still fall off of this because the Molotov's not going to make their job any easier. Destiny takes the top side of the train. He's looking for entry frags to justify the push, but Chaos Arado, he's going to cut off those last two players, and down goes Bomb. 3 kills for Chaos Arado. Didn't need to push into the ladder room despite having the option. I think one of the reasons he doesn't have to go is because they did still have so many Molotovs left over, like you said. You know, it's very easy to just chuck it on the door and have the Molly do your job for you.
Yeah, the setup didn't really call for it, I guess. They had all the kills go their way, so he didn't have to make any crazy moves. And a pretty fantastic 3K to clean it out. Not a very interesting round from INTZ, to be frank. They didn't take much control of anything. They didn't drop down ladder till very late. They moved into T-Con, even though there was no one holding T-Con for Furia, and did it all as the clock was almost out. I mean, in terms of map control, had free roam to go and do whatever they want, but really just took their time sitting around waiting for pushes. So hopefully we'll see a more proactive T side, otherwise it's hard to justify the amount of time that they waste. Well, that was almost a very close spam. Right down Ivy. And INTZ look to turn their attention to Ivy, or sorry, did I say down ladder? But INTZ look to turn their attention towards Ivy with the majority of their members. One now will drift backwards. But what are they going to do off this? This is Vinny playing ladder. Now they know they've got a threat. If they want to drop down, it won't be easy.
KNG does not fire the op, despite being blinded and nearly having that lineup regardless of his lack of vision. So, similar setup to what we saw last round from Furia, other than the fact that Vinny is still pushed up into the ladder. That does free up KS Arado. He's closer here towards the Ivy side, and that's where the majority of INTZ are coming in from. They've blocked off their own route to the A bomb site for a moment, and then Art actually picks up that first op shot. He is still very wary of both sides of play. Abel only getting one, but that could be enough. It keeps the numbers advantage here for Furia, and Art's gonna then extend that by another frag. KS Arado in hell, pinched in from two sides and knows it. 10 seconds up, no bomb in possession for INTZ, and therefore they are going to lose this round as well. It's Furia with a second. How many saves? Maximum of 1. Destiny doesn't really get a chance to get into the mix this round. Very slow stuff from INTZ. Furia keeping them at bay.
Yeah, another round where maybe they feel threatened or expect Furia to push, but they're not. They're not taking any aggressive control of anything. No push down Ivy, no push into T-Con. They had one player in ladder who INTZ also took a lot of time to try to approach, but overall INTZ just moving slowly for almost no reason, I want to say. And ultimately, that matters in a round like the one we just saw, where they get outside finally, but then don't have enough time to recollect the bomb, even though they make it a 2v3. It's not going to be an easy round. It would be a round they win with a man disadvantage. They'd have to pull off the bomb plan and everything like that, but they have absolutely no time to even try, and didn't spend much of the rest of the round doing anything interesting. So Furia take that one with ease and have upgraded the AUGs, if it's fair to say, into a couple of AKs, Able J rebuys, and M4. And it's INTZ to, I guess, oh, they're gonna invest everything they have. They had KNG retain the op, so they're gonna support it with some armor buys and upgraded pistols, a couple of nades, and we'll hopefully have him work. He seems to be a very integral part of this team.
Missing a couple of bullets, a couple of shots that could have easily gotten Destiny down. All the while, we have INTZ with a little bit more footing than usual. Even with just these pistols, they have at least found their exit. They've found their opening on A. KS Arado's gonna come in, quickly reacts with a double headshot though. And so, the tease, that element of surprise is gone, as are the majority of their players. KNG loses significant health, and Zan's gonna try to wrap around Ivy. Abel caught sleeping, but still picks up his kill. KNG not going to get this AWP out of the round, you would think, and most certainly not with Vinny chasing from above. Verticality makes the difference, and we are tied, so there is no difference in terms of rounds.
Pretty simple round there for Furia, and again, INTZ did invest everything they had, so it'll be another eco here, and it mostly comes down to the fact that Furia, because they had no attention to T-Con, they really just didn't give KNG a way to open up the round, and it did help his teammates escort themselves onto the site, but beyond that, also left it upon them to try to get kills, and that was probably the best thing that Furia did, was just avoid giving KNG an opening, early push on Inner, and a great spray from Yuri to get to. Not as great as it could have gone, but Art is here to make sure the op can't be reclaimed.
Yeah, Cello actually managed to shoot someone in the back of the head just now. So, not even a complete and total cleanup from Furia, but helped out by the other side. That was the first attempt so far from INTZ to hit up the B site. No surprise to me, Launders, that it comes in the form of an eco round. Just looking for that bomb plant, the exits of ramp so close to the site. You'd think sometimes you can get it away. That is not the case.
That is not the case at all. So KNG rebuys that up. We'll have another round where we don't know if you see something. We'll see something fast, but another round where they've got a similar buy, and they've been known to go slowly. KNG tries to pick off the ladder threat, a pick that is always really well welcomed on this map, where it's so difficult to sometimes kill that ladder player. Able J pushed into a tough spot, losing tons of HP, running directly through the Molotov. Seemed like a very low chance that he would be able to come out of that alive. And definitely doesn't get any damage in. Zand also takes advantage of Art, who is trying to hide in the smoke. So a couple of easy free kills as the round moves along swiftly. 5v3, and we're not even at the minute mark.
No, this is a big change of pace. Comes with those swift entries, of course. Always helps when you cut down the numbers. Vinny about to lose his head. Now Yuri's the only one to respond, and it's in the form of a trade frag. So one death on the tally here for INTZ. Furia getting picked apart that time, and you know, it's hard to really explain other than a couple one duels.
Sure. I mean, hey, it's probably because INTZ expected them to push so many times that they just run the same default, and finally the aggression comes out. So Furia, in an attempt to change things up, keeps things fresh, go for aggressive pushes, and end up dying. Maybe that's why INTZ looked so kind of static on those previous rounds, is because they're so used to having Furia push versus them and are ready for those situations. So potentially contextualizing those losses, and now INTZ back in the power position. Well, slightly. There's still a buy coming up, and it's 2 ops this time. Able J will be a strengthened Ivy player, having upgraded to a one-shot kill scoped weapon, and not having to run down Ivy like a madman with a rifle in his hand through a Molotov. Early 5v4 for Furia, and now we'll try to see what the adjustment will be for INTZ. Certainly, they won't anticipate overt CT aggression on a round where they don't even get the opening kill.
Right. CT aggression that, of course, could have cost Furia in the previous round. So a big change of pace, and then obviously made easier with that double op setup. Good play from INTZ to get into the back line of CT spawn, catching a kill in the midst of it all. That's Yell floating around on Old Bomb, and Yuri, well, he's in a problematic situation. There's players all over the place, and so he's going to try to slip by them as Yell continues to topple players from the backside of it all. Bomb still uncomfortable, but luckily is surrounded by teammates, so made easy. Cello comes wide, does deny the bomb plant initially, but it is, of course, traded out.
Bomb has been planted.
That was a pretty sick Ivy push from INTZ. Vinny, ooh, could be a 1v2.
Nope, Zan takes the same place as his fallen comrade, and yeah, that was a beautiful Ivy wrap, Mohan.
Yeah, you know, most of the time I want to say that you see teams just flub that by getting tagged up, either coming out of Ivy or running past Old Bomb, but they did it quite quickly and did it without being seen and potentially not even being heard at Old Bomb. So the timing at which that they flanked Inner could have been completely lost on Furia, and Furia's and also INTZ's awareness once they got into the site, knowing that these fights could come from different positions, was at a maximum. They were really careful once they got in, and so even though they performed the split, even though Furia seemed to adapt and, you know, tried to adapt a little bit late, INTZ were able to figure out where the next kills would come and just bring that round to a close and make it look strong. Well done. So Furia are on pistols now. and they are opened up to this threat in the future. Very common for Oppers to play from the side of E-Box, watch Ivy passively, but that does open up Old Bomb and make that strat a whole lot stronger. Bunch of CT pistols congregating to a back 6. And INTZ sitting back waiting and being patient, knowing that they've got a significant economic advantage.
First time in a while we've actually seen Furia without their guns. So let's make sure that the terrorists make the most of said opportunity. You know, they started off this half with some very calculated pacing, not getting overly aggressive. They're going to go back to that in the anti-eco too. Unfortunately for Furia, there is zero utility for them to try and make happen here. Not even going to be able to, say, flash dumpster on an Ivy push, deep smoke on T-Con to take map control. So they've opted to stack up in the back of hell. 2 players just next to the ladder are actually on the green train itself. You know, sometimes you see these head stacks work out if a push comes wide. So you do have to worry for Yell. He is working up alone, but if he rounds the corner just as his teammates get to the green train, then this will be an easy anti-eco. Zand not able to clear that corner fast enough. Yell does want to swing out and help, but that's also going to cost him his life because KS Serato has an AUG. 2 kills on the round already. Further damage versus KNG. This is a problematic situation on the A site, but there's no worries towards B, so that's the reason the bomb's going to go ahead and dip out of the situation.
It makes a big rotate around. Serato does get 3 kills with the AUG, but they're locked into position, so once their spots are known, the Molotov could have flushed them out, but it ends up popping a little bit too high, and so that means the trajectory was just a bit off. That could have done the job and even taken push Serato into a bad fight, but he remains alive with a little bit of HP, and will happily take that into the next round. We'll certainly see a buy, but INTZ deal with the eco, even though it was a struggle. Small lead here for INTZ, and we're seeing some kind of interesting meta going on with INTZ being at times overly patient, but then also being able to catch Furia off guard, and also pulling off that IV split 4v5 and coming away with the round as if they were in a man advantage situation, you know, really controlling the rotates. So some interesting stuff on both sides for sure, even though the CT rounds have been quite clean when they've been won.
This is really just a KS Serato highlight reel in the previous round, making the most of the AUG he had picked up. Swaps it for an SG at the end of the round and gives it over to Vinny. So sharing the love.
INTZ will take that last Ivy split round, write it down, put it in their back pocket, save it for later, and know that they can threaten Furia with it in the future. Able J will seem to have a lot of attention this half, and it's good that INTZ are constantly abusing Ivy. A lesser used part of the map on T side, very difficult to take at times, but super effective, especially if the CTs don't give it enough attention. Got 1 man out to Olaf. Oh, and Cello has a really good angle to take the best player on Furia, at least in this map, out of the round.
Yeah, Art did just tag him down to 16 health. The op shot through the train though, so softens him up, but Yell's gonna swing out from Ivy with a kill and an additional off of Zand. That's over towards the ladder of the A bomb site. 3 versus 2, Abel just working this ladder, trying to find vision over top of the 2 smokes that are still plumed for the T's.
Bomb will get planted safely at the back of bomb, and Abel is locked into position. He's very low on HP. It'll be hard for him to make a play. Cello hasn't moved since the beginning of the round. Controlling Olaf has been a boon for INTZ.
Flash meant to go deep, so maybe Abel can clear that corner. No peek off of it, but Yuri does find his frag elsewhere. That's the closest player onto the bomb site. So the last 2 remaining T's back by E-Box. And then still we have Cello on Olaf. Yet to activate, yet to swing wide. Predicted on E-Box, but not dealt with. Abel will get the kill once time has expired. Bomb certainly to explode. And that right there is INTZ with a 7th. Sure, it costs them all their bodies. Everybody dies at the end, other than Abel. But But hell, they'll take it because they're starting to stack rounds as we begin to get into the last 5 of this first half.
Yeah. Another round that comes down to the focus on Ivy by INTZ, and obviously Cello being able to control Olaf, but that's a more standard position. That's something that Furia are going to be really well aware of at all times. You know, all teams have on the T side snuck people out to Olaf. This is not a secret anymore, but the Ivy control seems to be a problem that is almost insurmountable for Furia at this point. INTZ have had a couple of good looks for it. If they can continue to bully it, it's really on Furia to try to adjust accordingly. And I'm so curious to see what they're going to try to do. But here on this round, the attack pause is called from INTZ as they try to figure out potentially the money or what they need to do this round. Furia are going to buy up slightly, about spend maybe half their money, upgrade into some pistols, recycle the M4 from Able J, and try to pull off another eco strat, like their eco strat setup from 3 rounds ago or whatever it was, where they all stacked up in hell.
Right. Hiding on the A bomb site, which has certainly been the predominant target of INTZ, and it's going to be once more. Just look at it tear straight through them. Running forward out of T-Con, not shying away from the gunfights at all. And the net result, 3v5 in seconds. Deep distance versus Yuri's Deagle unarmored means obviously Yell will have him pinned in and pushed off. This is Furia Esports calling a save, not even 20 seconds into the round.
Yeah, good stuff. Ran fast. You know, you got to go fast.
I mean, this is the thing from INTZ is it's a beautiful change-up of pace, right? And sometimes it's maybe a little too redundant. Maybe it's too often at times. That can be a criticism when you're kind of straightforward and simple. But when you don't have utility as the CT side, you don't need to necessarily worry about those Molotovs and frags flying down onto T-Con. And T-Con's the first exit, the closest exit. We talk about how the B ramp is right next to the bomb site for your plant. But if you want kills, then you fly out T-Con, because you're going to be presented targets somewhere out here on the train yard. This time clearly as they drop 2 bodies and let Furia save. They'll show some mercy, Launders.
Yeah, as long as you don't run into a full-on nade stack, it's really easy for you to get out of T-Con on an anti-eco. There's a lot of good running Molotovs that you can use to try to funnel the Ts into the back of the bomb area, which is where you pretty much want to funnel as many CTs into as possible. And they didn't have to do half of that. In fact, three players from Furia were not in position to deal with the tempo at which they came outside. But now they have money again. So let's see what's going to be the adjustment. So they know that Ivy has been a problem. INTZ, I think, could continue to bully it if it's something that they know they have a good firm on or firm grasp on. Able J has just had so many different looks come at him from this part of the map, and the op has worked out quite well, where he's been able to at least get 1 kill and fall back. But even beyond that, INTZ has made it difficult. What an entry from Destiny!
Hot damn. Art not going to be going for that repeak, and it's probably a good call. There was an op trained on him. Nobody actually serving as an anchor, however, for the terrorists' push means that Vinny has been primed to flank. He's already got eyes down ramp. There's somebody now watching, and that's not going to help Zand at all. These Ts on the bomb site are going to feel the heat, certainly seeming pinched. And the question is, when does Yell come in? He's already got himself to the other side of Z Connector. There is a player in there in the form of KS Arado, but now he's dead. And just like that, Destiny and KNG taking the round back by their own. Yell finally activates his flank, and the bomb is so far gone that Art is in an awful position. He does have the kit double flash, but he's blasted back by Mr. Vito. There you go. 9 rounds for the Ts, and no signs of slowing down.
That round begins and ends with that opening kill from Destiny, and as close as it was on the hold, and the trade from Art did come back quite quickly. It almost doesn't matter. I mean, Cello and Destiny had to combine in their efforts to make sure that they killed him fast enough, but because they were able to do it so quickly, because their spacing was good enough, I mean, destroying that player can tell you so much. They know that nobody's going to be at spools. They know that's probably the player that's going to end up on the bomb site. The next player up might be a rotator in Z, or it might just be back lanes, but you'll still be able to cross for a plant. So it's an insane amount of information and such a big advantage so quickly that it would have been difficult for INTZ to blow it at that point. They've really walked away with this half at this point. half buyout for Furia. And they've been pretty decent on pistols, but they haven't actually successfully ecoed INTZ. At least not yet. Kind of a stalemate in this situation as the T's post up and wait. But Furia's eco rounds haven't come down to pushes. They've just been creative stacks.
Right. Creative and somewhat successful stacks, to be fair. But you can't help but feel like after one or two of those, INTZ might be a little bit more wary, a little more alert. They do find the initial kill, and that's going to push Abel out from Ivy. He's trying to explore towards T-spawn, and the poor guy, well, he runs right into KNG. This is going to draw Serato back into the A site. Yell's cleared out B, so the bomb comes over, which means all the information, all they'd hope for, is theirs. You know, they don't run into that 5-man stack this time. Still the potential for a couple of losses with Art on the op and Armored Deagles too.
Yeah, they look to want to hunt down these kills, not just get the bomb plant. So working outside simultaneously with the inner push, and Art at least gets his kill. So this is going to be a 5v3, and he looks for another really ridiculous off shot to make this happen. He might get away clean at this point, though he's got another target creeping up on him. In fact, as he predicts correctly that the next man is up in ladder. Low on health, and at this point, I mean, they've got sunk costs. They really want to hunt this op down.
Ooh, both players looking for it. Good on Art. 3 kills to protect his op. He's earned it, I'd say.
Oh yeah, he really has.
But so have INTZ. They've earned something, and that right there is double digits. 10 rounds to the T side, 1 left to go.
Not a scoreline I thought I'd see.
No, especially not after, I mean, sure, okay, we saw INTZ win their pistol and the conversion for the first 3 rounds. You're thinking par for the course after pistol wins. Then 4 straight from Furia. I'm like, okay, this is the CT side that we may have expected from such a competent-looking team. But not the case any longer, Launders.
Yeah, it seems like in terms of pacing, they just wanted to feel out Furia and see if they would be as aggressive as they maybe initially thought, or they just wanted to take it slow so that they could, you know, get their head on their shoulders and iron out their default early on. But that seemed to be a good thing to do. So now that they got that out of their way, everything seems to be working out really well. KNG missing a bit of a flick. Could have been an easy opening kill. Vinny is also hurt, though. That first layer execute has gone down outside, but that won't tell Furia much. However, the Abel J Ivy push will. He's got a Nog as well, and that strengthens this push greatly. He can confidently hold and peek and potentially win a duel versus someone to come back to him. Furia haven't rotated too heavily to inner off of this information. They've still got ladder to worry about, but Art is playing a more dedicated position at this moment, and is probably expectant of something to come his way. You can see how committed he's being, but he's trying to catch the shoulder peek. So, you know, you could just stand on top of the spool and then shoot if someone wide swings. But look at that. You can't get the shoulder peek kill unless you commit fully. So he risks dying, but that's what you have to go through if you want to op in this game.
Right, risk and reward. Gets himself the first 30 seconds up. Serato anticipating a drop down. Do they wreck his face? Not at all. He's rewarded with the bomb at his feet. It's a shutdown immediately, then even further damage done. Cello will have a chance to just fly himself forward. In fact, he will run towards B. Now there's a player up there still in Yuri. I mean, very easily he could deny this bomb plant, but if somebody drops him, then there's still a chance, a slight chance, and a chance that seems to be dwindling down, now dropped entirely. 5-10 is still to the favor of INTZ. A fantastic T side, but what do they have on the defense, folks? We'll find out after the halftime break. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the second half of the Brazilian Bash. Furia maybe caught off guard by the slow tempo initially thrown out by INTZ. We saw them pick up the pace on a couple of key rounds, so the depth was there from their T side. But what do they have in terms of a defense? Well, it's time to find out.
Yeah, one of the most daunting halves we've ever seen Furia go up against so far. And INTZ did a good job controlling the tempo. At first, it felt like they were kind of out of it, a little bit foggy in terms of how they were running their defaults. But later on in the half, turned the tempo up and delivered on the rounds as well.
Ooh, Destiny with a fadeaway headshot. That's going to help out by keeping the numbers advantage. There's a CZ on the ground. Someone get it. But then again, it's a trap. The honeypot trying to get Zan to pop another noggin. Furia have no information elsewhere at all. This was literally a 5-in on B.
Yeah, they wanted to do it. Now they can try to reset if they want to and just go to B again. It's probably going to be the best option. They do have a full set of grenades and an extra smoke on Yuri, so if they want to go outside, they could do a couple of good smokes, you know, one to Z, one old bomb, or back six and try to rush outside. It's just that covering that much ground on low numbers is so unappealing. Two smokes go inner, two players here to defend. Will the USB shots connect?
Well, they start going down range. Zan out of bullets. Gonna have to get the reload in. Destiny could be next up at bat. There are still two Ts on the other side here. Bomb now thrown out into the open. Art, he's gonna get overwhelmed, and yes, sir, there you go. CTs start with momentum right after a successful half.
I think it's fine that they tried to go for the re-aggression. Inner, again, three players can, you know, get the one guy that's on the bomb and then get the bomb plant. That is so important just because that would have allowed them to buy right now. But instead, they've only got 2K. They're going to be saving. Would expect INTZ to do majority SMGs. It looks like they picked up two. A couple of MP9s that they'll maybe push with, or just sit and wait if they have an idea of where Furia want to take their fight. Queserado's got the only flash on the round. It's just Glocks, and they're going to go head first into that inner push one more time. Oh, some good nade damage, though, to slow him down quite a bit. Lots hurt from Zand as well.
Almost caught jumping, but he'll get his gun in position. Gonna hear that bomb plant attempt. Abel doesn't get it down. There will be no extra cash here for the T's. Queserado, well, he's the tail end of the caboose. Does hear footsteps. Maybe he wins the duel with the MP9. Wow.
What were you going to say about the MP9?
I was going to say, will rip
has
him apart.
a high fire rate and could probably give him like a double or triple think within a matter of moments.
Yeah, but...
But what about the Glock? What about the Glock in the right hands? Queserado.
Playing around on the ladder. Welcomes the challenge here. I mean, why not take all the time in the world? It's a good chance to deal additional damage now that he has this SMG.
Do it. He's going for it, and he gets it. There it is.
Upgrades into another MP9. He's probably like, damn it.
It's like, yes, the red MP9. The MP9 Hot Rod. Now you'll see my final form. 3 CTs cowering in fear as Queserado gets the first 2 kills in his upgrade to an even better MP9.
But then runs right into the bigger guns.
Yeah, but they were scared. They had to have 2 people up there to
They had to try so hard.
Yeah, they were sweating for sure.
Converting fully, just a couple losses. MP9s only. Who's counting?
Lots of money made. And some good damage dealt at the end of the round. It doesn't matter for something, but Furia could not secure the bomb plant. They buy down to 0. Some people compromise, some don't. Queserado certainly doesn't, and that's where the kills come into play. What is the strategy going to be, however? I don't think I guess they just didn't have enough money for an op, which is one of the main drawbacks, potentially, of having to buy this early. But at 5 to 12, how can you turn down having over 4K? It's tough to ask. And they're just spotting upper. The Molotov is commonplace, but so important to avoid getting opped. And now it looks like they want to waste no time. Set up for a straight up inner hit. 2 people here and 1 at ladder for a fast flank. Yuri has also fallen or come forward. I don't know if he's entering on the strat, but they don't have anybody to catch that fast flank. 3 players have rotated inner. There's been a push at Ivy.
That's a deep commitment too. Yo's gonna have all the information in the world. Justifies the rotate over. Cello soon to join them. Destiny lets the first bit pass. Has to double back to try and clean him up. And wow, he hits Vinny over the shoulder.
Yeah.
A stroke of luck with solid positioning is the reason this B site holds.
That and Zan getting the 3K with the AUG at the end of it too. Yeah, everything understood though for INTZ. Furia had no idea that anything had been pushed or that the site had been overstacked. Very common to just go and try to execute after a certain amount of time has passed and just hit inner. But yeah, INTZ very exploratory on this round.
I mean, what we had from Zand was literally the exact same thing from Cello. Both of them cutting off a kill towards ramp, both fixating attention over towards the players who would push past, and that's 2 kills each. Then he kills the one upper, and that round is done. So we're back in with the pistols of Furia Esports. They're going to try to pinch into the A site as fast as can be. Ivy initially held. Second player gets past, and that's a distraction for Destiny that he just can't handle. So Cello on the bomb site with his teammates near. But they've offered up the guns. SG for Art, Famas on Vinny, and a bomb point going down on site.
Yeah. Zen opts to fall back just because, or sorry, Cello opts to fall back just because he has to make sure they don't get flanked. Oh, that might have pulled him out of a bad position. Art and Quesarado, the 2 people left.
Art's got that scope though. You think it's a slight edge over the M4, that's why. Sam's gonna get flashed past the smoke, sprayed straight through it. Art now spamming away, and he's got himself another. 4 kills for Art in the eco. That's a hell of a way for Furia to break onto the board.
Pretty nasty play, and he started off, I think, with a P250 kill as he pushed out of Ivy, and everybody joining in to help out for damage and map control, and just really just causing confusion and panic, as we can see some players getting flanked in this situation, and the retake looked like it was on for a moment there, but oh man, look at Arts. He's pushing his reaction time to his absolute limit with that second to last kill. Super sick round for Furia to get back into it. Still a mountain of rounds to get back before they could think about even tying up, and INTZ will not be wavered. They have full purchased, although Destiny has only got a CZ. Round 20, KNG opens up the round with an op frag onto Art.
Range distance. Yell's gonna tag up that Opper. Yuri had retrieved it from Art, but unfortunately we've got a sequence of 1v1 duels going the way of INTZ. Yuri doesn't necessarily lose the duel, but he does cost himself a lot of health. Trades right back into Zan. That opens up a route. They can run downwards, try to fly forward into the site, get past the scope of KNG, and maybe plant.
No nades to deny it, so yeah, they could potentially get the bomb down, but that might be it.
Now they know exactly where the last man's at. Quesarado with temporary cover through the smoke will at least push back KNG first and foremost. There's 3 CTs still inbound. Like we talked about, no utility for them to actually flush him out. He has a Molotov of his own. Now they have a smoke. They don't have a kit either, so there's gonna come a point where this guy, who has flicks for days, I actually
like Zoking, sure. I was about to throw up, dude. I'm like, let me off this ride. Let me off this ride. Stop this roller coaster.
My eyes were spinning. I was trying to keep track of what he's looking at. Had me at a loss for words.
It's like he was using Prius's camera angles, just like instantly flashed to different spots, looking up and to the right and with pristine accuracy. But the flashy flicks are not enough. He doesn't even get a kill there, so 3v1. It's nice and easy.
I didn't realize how I was trying to speak and it was confusing me longer. Whoa. Good stuff. At least they get that bomb plant. They throw themselves back into the B site, but it's not looking too good. Not consistent enough from Furia, as their chances are dwindling. Another attempt for Art with that op on the walkout. Cello behind E-Box may not realize how lucky he is to be alive.
Just turned and then Monka S slowly backs up. But he gets assistance and he'll reposition. Confident place for him to be in. Oh, and it's also they can flash in a ladder. Oh, goes ahead and gets 2. Art fully blind. His teammate gets killed. And that puts his life at risk. It's just 2 now, and just as I say that, Yell goes ahead and knocks Quesarado out.
Right, wallbang headshot, op shot. Obviously, that's something nice about this inclusion of Yell. I think he does kind of pump up the double lock setup potential for INTZ.
Damn, dude. INTZ match point and about to take the first map. Another forced-up situation, 2K apiece for Furia. Really shocked not only that the first half was so dominant, but that INTZ just kept it going. They just kept it going. This did a kickstand and finished the whole thing. 2 timeouts remaining for Furia. But it might be the last one they could possibly use. KNG and Yell both have ops. They were able to pick one up from last round. It's not a whole lot they have to do.
No, not
Wait, hit shots, easy rounds. They're probably thinking about map 2.
Zand up there, 23 frags, 13 deaths at the moment. Making mincemeat of Furia. Everybody else behind him, and even though KNG is, you know, statistically at the bottom, I feel like we've seen him in crucial moments hitting shots.
He did get a lot of 5v4s.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did open the round up a lot of the rounds that we've seen recently.
I love those moments where you feel as though a player's, you know, performing high. I would have put him up there in the 15s, 16s, but nope. You give him 2 points per impact frag, however. And they're all tied up. But you know what's not tied up? This bye. In fact, it is as lopsided as it gets. Like a peg leg pirate, Furia are going to have to try and get their way through Ivy, limping forward on just these pistols and tidbits of utility.
Not going to be easy for them, for sure. How frisky are INTZ being? They've got one man pushing. Yeah, as Destiny's got T-Con control. Quesarado's waiting for this fight, and he is definitely prepared.
Yeah, but so are Yell and Cello.
Yellow.
That's a couple of kills for them. We do have Art with an element of surprise. Yell's going to come back to clear this. Doesn't check his left. Why would he?
Oh my god, what's happening?
Art doesn't also know that there's actually a player back here on Ivy. So sure, Art might walk forward, but you'd think Yell could be aware.
Oh,
gifted.
Oh my god.
Kill.
Is he going to... Oh, he's going to go for the knife. Oh, doesn't upgrade the gun. Doesn't know where the next kill is going to come from as well. So although he scoured the site, doesn't get that much information. And Yell pushed into a position where he has to hit a shot. Awkward flick, gets some wallbang damage off. Quesarado also very low, but now it's 1v3 for Cello.
All these players in the mid-teens, and one with an op finds the frag. Okay. Art's got the walkout. I mean, you could see the timing there. Between him and KNG in the back of the old bomb, that's Counter-Strike for you.
That's Counter-Strike. That's going to happen. Really difficult. Must be really difficult to try to make a decision there as to, like, when do you take the kill?
Yeah.
How long can you wait? Where could potentially be the other player if he's not on the site anywhere? But he can still go ahead and correspond with his team, tell them that there's like all these spots are clear.
Yeah. Also, I mean, props to him because he gets that backstab, grabs a Mac 10 of all things, you know, and has to double over to the A site to try and continue creating space.
No, he had the Mac 10. He just didn't pick up the...
Oh, excuse me.
He just didn't upgrade to KNG's gun.
Well, excuse me then.
We've got the cheerleader stack in Old Bomb. It's kind of dinky, but...
Give me an I. Give me an N.
I think. What are you going to spell? I can't figure it out, Connor.
Inside, which is exactly where this execution's going. Furia Esports on the ramp, the deep volley of utility. Will have it all too easy. Like a walk in the park. The B site is theirs. So we'll get closer. You know, we've seen some crazy Brazilian comebacks already throughout this minor.
Yeah, but it's versus another Brazilian team.
That's a good point.
Kryptonite, potentially. It's hard to tell if Furia actually look worse or a little bit more like worried or scared to be up against INTZ, but from the beginning of the game, it didn't seem like they were. It just felt like INTZ's kind of furious, like fiery pace was what pushed Furia out of a lot of the rounds.
Yeah, that pace that they actually transitioned into, that's the nice thing. You know, they didn't begin in 6th gear like a lot of people may have expected. They kind of naturally and gradually got up to it. Remember how slow some of those initial executes were, you know, trying to find their comfort on the executions, playing proper. getting themselves that one-sided T-half. But now we are back into what could be a bye.
Yeah, it's a full buy, and they've got like a little bit of money left over. Second last tack called for Furia. And their way back into this game was winning that eco round, so there's still a lot to be seen about whether or not Furia have a chance at making this comeback a reality. But I think there's 2 full ecos that they've managed to win now. I don't know if they were both in this half, but one of them was because of Art, who got that 4K with the Creek. And then there was that last round as well. And there was also 2 eco rounds in the first half that came close, but INTZ dealt with it. So you know, they've been good on pistols, but the majority of the rounds on their way back will not be pistol rounds. In fact, none of them will, because if there are pistols involved, that means they've already lost. What is INTZ's strategy going to be? One of the rounds that they won so confidently was because they got info early on. That was off the back of an Ivy push. For the moment, it's just ladder that they're being aggressive in.
They will have that double sniper setup that they were leaning on previously. Initially, KNG was at A, has gone over towards the spools of the B bomb site.
I wonder if they have it set up so that one of them turns if the flash comes down, but the other one doesn't.
Ooh, dodged it. Cello gets the kill versus KS Serato. The question is, does he call both? Did he see him? Smoke will blanket the possibility of another drop down. Frag, good enough for a little bit of chip damage versus Destiny, but it's Yell with a frag versus Art and a 5v3 situation for INTZ. Looking to close out their map choice. Hell of a T side, turned into a couple chances from Furia, but are they preventing what seems like the inevitable? An additional kill from Zan, dropping bomb into the open. It's only the Opper and Yuri. 9 and 17 at the moment. 1 versus 5 in this round. 30 seconds, no bomb. Launders, this poor guy has to walk into his death. It's gonna happen the moment he comes out, T-Con, you'd think. Missing the shot just to confirm it. They run in for the knife. It's bad manners. KNG with a knife frag to finish the map. Why the hell not? After such a lopsided first start to this one and a chance at the end, many chances in fact, with such a commandeering lead, that this one comes to a close. So folks, we shall move on to Mirage. It's a map that Furia have shown us great things with. They have a composed T side, they have conviction in their executions, and nice mid-round setups too. Get ready for that one, as we will be back with the second map.